saga of family, betrayal, and revenge in medieval Spain is called Seven Noble Knights. I'm the author, J.K. Knauss, and this is Chapter 1. Gonzalo Gonzalez peered between the wild grasses where once had grown someone's grain. He had lain in the dampness for so long that his boiled leather backplate and metal mail were weighing him down. He measured each finger width of sunlight that revealed the golden stone walls of Zamora before him while the stars faded overhead. He had long lost his sense of amazement at the Moors' audacity. 300 of them had set up their camp and war machines before the city's main gate, which remained barricaded. He turned his face to see his uncle through the dewy stalks and whispered, "Why can't we charge the Moors now, while they're still asleep in their tents?" "It's not the right time," Ruy Blasquez said through his teeth. A groan escaped Gonzalo's mouth. It never seemed to be the right time for Ruy Blasquez. Gonzalo, his 6 brothers, and 100 other knights had arrived at their vantage point in the dark, but they'd made no fire, set up no tents, done nothing to break the silence or the monotony for those hours. Even the birds that morning withheld their songs, waiting, along with Gonzalo, for something, anything, to happen. Gonzalo pulled at the tufts of grass, wrapped leaves around his fingers, then plucked them out again, counting. It had been a summer, a winter, and most of a springtime since the city gates had opened. His stomach clenched to think of the innocent Christian people inside the walls. Had they roasted their dogs and horses, or gnawed on their boot leather? Had the rain been enough to heal their parched lips? Why didn't the King of Leon ask for Count Garcia's help earlier? We Castilians could have saved Zamora and gone home months ago. The King of Leon has concerns with Mudarra and Barcelona and within Leon. He can't be concerned with Zamora and the Moors all the time. But I would have liked to be here months ago, Ruy Blasquez let out a snigger that caused a stir in the soldiers a few paces behind them with their swords, daggers, and bows. "This is your first foray for Count Garcia. Months ago, you wouldn't have been here asking stupid questions." "I've been into Andalusia with my brothers lots of times. Gonzalico, breaking a siege is not like your happy little raids, where your brothers protected you from Moorish sheep and chickens." Gonzalo scowled. "Let me in there, uncle, and I'll show you how prepared I am." "Hush!" Ruy Blasquez hissed. Shifting his weight among the lumps in the earth, Gonzalo glimpsed a small figure creeping along the outside of the city wall. As the sky brightened, he estimated from his bare feet and the way his tunic fit that the blond boy had not completed 10 years. He must have climbed through a hole in the barricades of a gate on the other side of the city. Gonzalo glanced at his uncle, whose older eyes hadn't caught the movement. He smiled to see the boy reach inside one of the enemy tents and pull out a steel scimitar. The young Zamoran carried it to the foot of a wooden siege tower where he pulled something out of his rope belt. When he struck it against the blade in a flurry of sparks, Gonzalo let out a chuckle. Apparently, the boy intended to free Zamora by setting the enemy camp ablaze. He would make a brave knight in a few more years. A warrior emerged from the tent where the boy had taken the scimitar. A dagger glinted in the nascent sunlight behind the boy. This was the time to attack, whether Ruy Blasquez willed it or not. Taking his first deep breath since sundown, Gonzalo rose up and covered the ground faster than his uncle could say, "Wait!" yet again. He thrust his sword into the infidel's unprotected back. The enemy fell, but it was too late. The boy lay contorted, and blood flowed from his neck and seeped into the soil. Gonzalo cursed and spat. Pausing to catch his breath, he turned in the direction of his battalion and channeled his rage. "Our patron Santiago is with us!" His uncle came howling toward the enemy camp, sword aloft, and Gonzalo's 6 brothers and the rest of the soldiers followed close behind, shouting, "Santiago!" When the murderer gurgled at his feet, Gonzalo hacked beneath his jawbone so that he bled as brutally as his last victim. He picked up the boy and carried him, supporting his neck with care, to the cover of the siege tower while his cohort rushed past. The boy's eyes had already glazed over. Gonzalo cursed again. Why would God allow the Moors to take such a young soldier from the world? He shut the eyelids and folded the arms across the still chest. He made the sign of the cross on the boy's forehead. As soon as they had the Moors under control, he would make sure a priest blessed the boy. "I will tell your mother how brave you were," he said. He unsheathed his sword again and leapt into the shouting, shoving mass of warriors. He would chase the enemy away for good. Thank you for listening.